What is up, guys? I just recorded this entire video and I sounded half dead, so we're gonna try this again. I did this kind of what I think will be strong next patch video for the first time last patch, and you guys seem to really like it. It's way more of like my insight and stuff than normal videos. So like this if you did, dislike it if you didn't, and comment with what you think will be strong. But let's jump into our first change. We do have to kind of remember these aren't official yet, like these changes could be tweaked or reverted, but it's very close to patch day now, so not very likely. No surprise here, they really don't seem to like Poppy at the moment. She's getting slapped again. They aren't like huge major changes, but they are going to hurt a little bit more, and it's kind of a placebo effect. Like the more a champ gets nerfed, the less people tend to play them. Rammus is also getting a nerf this patch too, so both together will kind of mean we're going to see more top tier tanks rise up again. From reading the comments on my channel, like I know you guys hate the tank meta, and I hate it too, but they're kind of going to be two different styles or types, I guess. So we have our proper tanks like Malphite, Sion, Rammus, Maokai, even Shen maybe. These guys are mostly like the utility picks. This is what I think you guys hate more. They do okay in lane and then they just don't die and are aimed at basically shutting down the AD carry. These probably aren't going to do very well in lane, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to have a big impact in team fights anyway. Then you have these more kind of tank carry picks like Echo, Poppy, Volibear, who are all way more deadly in lane. They do a lot more damage, but they do tend to fall off a little bit as we get later into the game. These picks are way more proactive. They want to kill people early, make plays early into the game where they are super tanky but still do a lot of damage. The problem is that the later the game goes, the more their damage falls off because it's mostly base damage, so the easier they are to beat. The thing is, they kind of beat each other. I know it sounds really weird, but tanks kind of play for team fights or late game, not early, and the way to beat these kind of tanks with damage is to make the game go late. So I think the meta is shifting a lot more mid to late game. The weird thing though is the whole like death timers being too long and towers made of sand doesn't really fit with this as much, so we're kind of having a weird mix between the two. Basically right now, early game picks can push and end before late game ones get the chance to reach late game. That doesn't mean late game is bad though, because if they outlast the early picks, they'll end up turning the game around when they fall off. Anyway, predictions wise for top lane, I think Kale, Volibear, Echo and Trundle are going to get really good this patch. Not only do they deal with these carry laners pretty well, but they are also tank killers. Volibear especially is an amazing answer to both like Poppy, Echo, all these full tanks, so watch out for him. The next change, more of Mount Mortius now has a little less magic resist, but the life grip passive, so the thing that comes on once your shield procs, that passive now doesn't give any attack speed anymore. The reason I'm bringing this up more is because this will most likely affect AD carries a lot. So Sterak's got nerfed a few patches ago and isn't that great late game anyway, because we have to lose like 80% of our health within 5 seconds to even proc the shield, so we're basically dead anyway. With Moore not giving us attack speed as well. By the way, the point of Moore is to absorb the head-on damage and then turn around with that passive and kill people. So what is actually left after those two have gone? Like Quicksilver Sash is nice to remove crowd control, but it doesn't block damage, and that really leaves us with a Guardian Angel, I guess. The More change doesn't make it useless or anything, okay? It still blocks a good amount of damage, but it's not helping us turn around after that damage and dish it back out, so it's way more inefficient gold-wise, I think. For other roles and like bruises and stuff, this is still really good. Attack speed was nice, I guess, but you don't tend to really rely on it as a bruiser as much as an AD carry. So from my experience, I actually think Fizz, Annie, Katarina and Ahri will all be better this patch. The meta is shifting more into tanks anyway, more kind of a passive lane where you can just farm up. The meta is slowing down a bit and we get a chance to run around more freely with our damage with less risk, which is everything we want. Now, as if that wasn't bad enough for AD carries already, we're not really in the best spot, I guess, and there goes our way of dealing with AP damage. We're getting Warlord's Bloodlust nerfed for us too. Now, I know that AD carries aren't the only ones who use this. I know a lot of people didn't bother using it anyway, but the change is basically aimed at us. It still heals for the same against champions. Not against minions, it's 50% effective or 25% effective for ranged champions. Fervor was always just more damage. It's like if I can get away with Fervor, I should, because I'll kill stuff so much faster. Warlords though can be good. Like it's more for hard lanes, I guess, to sustain back up, or if you're going to build full damage and low life steal, then Warlords can help there too. There is really little point now getting this in hard lanes. Honestly, you're not going to notice the life steal that much really, so it's all about the second second thing, your itemization. Sivir is the best example. Gets Warlords 1 because her lane isn't the best, but more 2 because you'll often go Essence Reaver, attack speed item, and Infinity Edge. Now that 3 item combo is insane damage, but in team fights it leaves you with no defense, low range, and no lifesteal, which is where Warlords comes in. It also kind of will mean that lane bullies are going to be a bit more effective again, and weaker lane picks are going to suffer more. So basically Jhin and Lucian are going to be even more annoying to deal with. The last change this patch I think is smaller changes, but Nidalee is getting her damage down a bit, and Kindred's ultimate can now only be self-cast, not on allies. Like, it will still save allies in the circle, but they have to be next to Kindred to start with when he casts it. Udyr is also getting his damage down on his Phoenix stance, and with all three getting slight nerfs, it's opening up even more for these tank picks to come back in. I'd expect like Tank Echo, Sejuani, Skarner, Volibear, Amumu, maybe even Shyvana to fit this kind of thing and be a lot stronger now. We'll have to actually see how it plays out, but for me, I think these all do good damage while staying very tanky. They can engage, they can frontline, and they can still be a threat, so they fit this meta perfectly. Now we also have the other side of this though. With these kind of carry junglers coming down a bit, we're seeing other carry junglers go up to replace them, a lot like Kha'Zix. I think Kha'Zix is going to be pretty busted this patch. I think he's very strong anyway. He does a crap ton of damage, he can build full offense and kind of have some survivability, so I think we're going to see a lot of him this patch. So I hope you guys enjoyed my predictions video. Let me know if you agree or what you think will be strong. Like, subscribe, comment, share, but for now, let's go to the robots.